Welcome, collectors and heavy equipment enthusiasts. Thank you once again for joining me for another episode of Diecast Emporium. In today's video, we're going to be checking out another awesome CCM classic construction model in 1:48 scale. This one is made almost entirely of die-cast. It's the Caterpillar D9L track-type tractor with the 631E toad scraper. Now, I'm going to get this out of the way right now. This is a long-been closed edition or discontinued model. This first came out in 2013, so if you are looking to procure one of these models, you're going to have to go on one of the auction sites and hope to get lucky and pay a premium for this model. Even new, when this was available directly from CCM, it had a retail price just shy of $330. So again, this is a very high dollar collectible adult item. As for the packaging that this comes in, obviously it comes in a brown shipping box. Once you open that, this is the box that it comes in. As you can see, it has a white outline drawing of the tractor and the toad scraper with a description of what's inside. On both sides of the flap, if you will call it that, you have CAT D9L with 631E toad scraper. The white lettering underneath is www.cat.com. Looking underneath, much of the same. You have the CAT logo here, which shows that this is, in fact, an officially licensed CAT merchandise item. Over here, once again, you have, this is, as I reiterated, collector's model, not a toy, absolutely not suitable for children, and then that message in a bunch of different languages. Here's the Classic Construction Models logo, their address, their website, and this model was handcrafted in China. Once you unbox the model, obviously, besides the model, the first thing that you see inside is this. So this is your little certificate sheet, and it also acts as a brochure. So basically, this is signifying that I have number 161 of a total run of 750 models. Here is where Gary Peterson from CCM signed all of these. As for the front of these, again, they are designed to mimic the front of the brochure for the real equipment. And on the front, it just says what kind of scraper capacity this has, what kind of Caterpillar engine it has in it. On the back, there's some more drawings of the piece of equipment, track roller frames, sealed and lubricated tracks, tires, and again, more copyright information on the back. These are always worthwhile to hang on to. You never want to discard any kind of credentials or paperwork that comes with models. That is rule number one if you are new and getting into our hobby. Okay, let's get into the good stuff. By the way, you also are afforded this nice little pointer that comes with the model as well, because you can use it to open the doors on the cab of the D9. All right, so here's our set. Now, really, this is two different models. They do come unattached, basically. So when you get it out of the box for the first time, the scraper will be by itself and the tractor will be by itself. But before we get into the review, as we always do with these CCM models, I want to give you some brief information and some history behind the real machines. So we'll start out with the D9L. The D9L track-type tractor was introduced in 1980. It came equipped with a CAT 3412 direct injection engine. That produced 460 flywheel horsepower. The D9L was the first of the D9 series to use the elevated final drive, which was first introduced by CAT in the D10. When used in conjunction with the D9, the 631E toad scraper allows for more versatility in earth moving when compared to the wheel tractor scrapers. One such advantage in using the dozer-pulled scraper is that it can be used in all weather conditions. Another advantage is that it doesn't require a support vehicle for push or pulling. Finally, a third advantage in using this type of configuration is that it is much more efficient in shorter run passes. So, once again, that's a little bit of background information about the real machine and some history with it. Now, as for the model, so I mentioned this is by CCM in 1:48 scale, came out in 2013, no longer directly available for them. We'll start off with the features of the D9L, the tractor. So they do have free-rolling, individually linked metal tracks. Here's your elevated drive sprocket here. On the right side of the cab, you have a fire extinguisher, which looks pretty nice. All of your hand and grab rails, your railings here, again, those are all done in metal and looks nice. Here's where your pointer comes in, very, very handy. And you can open both sides of the cab door so that you can get a look inside the cab, which is also very nicely detailed with an operator station, some levers, and his seat. If we close the door, we'll move on to the front of the tractor, where once again you can see the Caterpillar nameplate up here, a perforated grill, and you can see a little bit of the engine detail all the way through. Allow me to turn the whole machine around this way. Again, this side of the tractor opens as well. The operator's side, or excuse me, the left-hand side opens as well to gain entry into the operator's cab. Back of the tractor, once again, this is your drawbar pin, which comes in and out, comes out and in. That's where you put the obvious scraper connection into it. Here's your different lines and stuff. Your back window has a windshield wiper for some added detail, and there's even a nice decal back here, and Caterpillar written there. Now, as for the 631E, let's move that up. This has one of my favorite features on this whole thing, and that is that CCM even had the license to have Goodyear written on the sidewall of the tires of the scraper. I love that. It's such a minute and small detail, but again, it adds to the realistic look of these precision scale models. Once again, you have some warning decals up here. Caterpillar, your Block C arrow with 631E, and then there's Cat here. As for the functionality of the scraper, it has a lot of functionality on here. Basically, all the functionality you'd want in a scraper model exists with the working bowl, apron, and ejector. So let's start with the ejector, which is this piece. You can slide it all the way forward and all the way back. Right now, the bowl's kind of in our carry position, but we can lower it as well. And again, we'll raise it back up to there. So pretty respectable range of motion. And also, we can lift up the apron as well so that the machine can discharge all the dirt that it carries. So again, tons of functionality built into this model. I'm exceptionally pleased with it, and it is a stunner on the shelf. We'll turn it around to give you guys another view of the other side of the scraper, which is pretty much like the other side. Very little subtle differences. And as you can see, with the different hydraulic lines going to the cylinders, there's few details that have been overlooked on these CCM models, and I would recommend any of them. Another detail that's worth mentioning is that the front tires are slightly smaller than the rear tires, and they actually are two different sizes, or excuse me, they actually have two different tread patterns on them, with the rear ones, again, being a much more aggressive and much larger style tread on the rear of the scraper. So there you go, guys. That will conclude this CCM review. I really hope you've liked it. If you guys have any comments or questions, please leave them down in the comment section below. And again, if you look at your screen right now, you will see a suggested link for another CCM model review. Leave your comments down in the comment section below. I'm Tommy with Diecast Emporium. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you in the next review.